we found a duffel bag out in the woods. So there's a process there. Detective Anno is actually going to drive all the way over there, start documenting it and all that other stuff, but what are we going to find in that bag?
This video shows the interrogations of two teens suspected in the death of a high school football star. On February 24th, 2020, Ashton Riggs and Gaven Smith were hanging out together, in spite of being ordered by a judge to avoid contact with each other. Both teens had been in trouble over various charges concerning drugs and guns, but their previous encounters weren't enough for them to change their path. It was especially hard for Smith, who had been using drugs since the age of 9, and who, by his own admission, was high most of the time. Trent Fort was a valued member of the football team, and usually didn't run in the same circles as Riggs and Smith. It is unclear whether Fort was there that night to procure drugs for himself, or if he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Whatever reason for being there, Fort ended up being shot, even though he was carrying no weapon himself, and there was no indication he was a danger to Riggs and Smith.
Murder, and many are very upset. Press reports say Smith met a group of 5 teens for a marijuana transaction. Smith claims he was being robbed. The detectives don't believe him.
So you're the last one. We have to go and get your side of the story.
Alright, I'm the last one.
Yeah. We've talked to everybody. We talked to, oh man, the girlfriend, all the guys that were in the silver truck, minus the one that went to the hospital. Your girlfriend, Zach, who's that other guy? Gaven. So, Gaven pretty much, I guess, told us everything. It's just, like we've been saying all night, it's like, if you and I, we see something, you know, we see an incident or whatever, we see the aftermath of an incident, what you visualize and perceive is going to be totally different than what I visualize and perceive. You might see something from a different angle that I didn't see, or what have you. We're not going to sit here and try to blow smoke up here or anything like that. So we already have a good idea and everything of what's going on through Gavin's statements and stuff like that. So we appreciate this late in the game. If you kind of, give us your side and kind of what happened. I guess those guys coming over there, from my understanding, Gaven went out there and got in the car with him on his own free will. Do you know anything about that?
I'm not sure, I was asleep at the time.
You were asleep at the time. What about when the gunshot went off?
I was also asleep. The only time I woke up is whenever they were in the house, when Zach and his grandpa were working. And that's how I hurt my knuckle right there.
Was that from hitting
Yes,
Zach's, what's his name, Chris?
Chris Super. Grandpa.
He tried to grab me by my throat, and I just hit him one time, and I backed to it, and then I got scared again.
Okay. Chris said he saw you leave the house with a backpack, and you went across the yard or whatever, and then came back without the backpack. That's what the argument started over.
That's not what happened, sir. I had grabbed Haley, and I was like, Haley, I just hit the old man. And Jeanette, the grandma, was on the phone with the cops. I was like, the cops are gonna come. And I went to the room. I looked around for anything of mine, and then Haley was just like, come on, and she grabbed her bag. And then I grabbed her bag, and then we walked to the wood line with it. But I didn't come back without the bag. I didn't come back at all until they called my girl, and they were like, it was like, Deputy Jackson, please come out. We're everybody, all of Nassau's looking for you. So then I came out and walked up, and they arrested me.
Riggs is being questioned last, and his story is not matching up with those of the others. A common situation when everyone is trying to save themselves. But it is tiring for the detectives, who will have to go through the evidence to sort the truth from the lies. Right. Cerna takes a sip of water, replaces the cap, and then, without a pause, he removes the gun from his pants and raises it to his left temple. There is no hesitation.
Okay. What do you know about the gun that was used?
I know nothing, sure. Like I said, the only time I woke up was whenever the fight happened, and then I tried to break him up. He ended up grabbing me, I hit him, and then I got scared because Jeanette was calling the cops and grandma. And then I ran, me and my girlfriend ran, they stayed at the house, and that was that.
Now, there's an incident or whatever. Do you know these people that came over there?
That came over to that guy we got in the car with?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And then, who do you think it is, just from whoever you spoke with or whoever you, whatever? Because I mean, the only reason why I say that, and I'm asking it that way, is because I'm just reaching for some truth on your side. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm basically, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm just trying to test the waters and say, okay, is this kid gonna really follow through with what we agreed on in the beginning, and say we're gonna kind of, yeah, they really do know what's going on, test the water. But I understand you're testing the water too. You want to know how much I know, but that doesn't really help the situation as far as like your perceived notion or your perceived image of this incident that happened today. So I do have quite a bit of information, but I also have a lot of information about like a possible past history between these kids that came over there and picked up Gaven and you.
Yes, sir. Well, as far as the kids go that probably got in the car with Gaven, was probably the kids I was beefing with. That's probably the kids I had.
Who are you beefing with?
So, before I went to jail, Blake, the kid with the cast, he had tried to rob me and my friend Gaven. And this is before I went to jail. This is like a month or 3 months ago. He tried to rob us. I beat Blake's ass, and then the black kid ran up and didn't do nothing, and Gaven just stood there, and then they didn't get nothing from us, and that was that. I beat Blake's ass. Nobody tried to fight us after that. It was good. Well, I went around school bragging about it because I used to be friends with Blake. I used to run with him. And then he hopped out on me and tried to rob me. So I started bragging about it, saying I whooped his ass. He tried to hop out on me and I whooped his ass. And everything was really straight. I had no more beef. Nobody was fucking with me after that. And then I went to jail for about 29 days on a pistol charge. Lost my pistol and my protection, really. And then after I got out, I didn't have no protection. I just got out of jail. I was gonna try to be good. I was just gonna drop all the beef I had because I mean it was a 29-day period. And then they ended up jumping me the second day I got out. I was walking to the park with my girlfriend. Haley's like, we've been together for like a year and a half. But we was walking together to the park for my sister's birthday. It was early in the morning. And we were gonna set up the park or whatever for her. My dad had left real quick to go. He wanted us to watch the stuff. But the kids that came across the street where Blake's aunt lives. And they came masked up in hoodies. And they had talked, the first day I got out, I posted it, and they slid up on my story saying, next time I see your sister, we're gonna beat her and pistol whip her and stuff. Whenever I see you, I'm gonna kill you, all this and that. And I was just like, whatever, like, I'm just gonna do me. If they beat me up, that's whatever. So that incident happens, they come over, I see them walking over the hoodie as soon as I get over there, and I had no idea. Like, I had no idea this was gonna happen. It was for my sister's birthday. My sister rode her scooter over, and I saw her, and I saw the kids walking around. I'm like, fuck. So then I saw Haley grab my phone, she goes with my sister, and I step out in the middle of the field, and I walk up to Blake and hit him. Because there's like 3 kids like this, and they're like walking up to me. And so I just walk all the way to the left, I hit the kid on the left, and they just start beating the shit out of me. They start kicking me and shit, and I just got my ass beat. But
What's your sister's name?
Aaliyah Riggs, she watched it happen. Aaliyah Riggs, A-L-E-A-H, Riggs.
The police do not believe this was an accident and that everyone involved had some sort of history. Riggs confirms that they knew each other, but makes himself out to be the victim in previous interactions. He also claims that he had no idea what was going to happen. His story is met with skepticism.
And then Haley Simmons saw it too. That's another witness. But at that time, I didn't care. You know, if I got my ass beat, oh well. Like, it's not the first time. My face wasn't busted. It's just my head was hurt because they were kicking me. So I didn't call the cops or anything. I just left it at that. Didn't call the cops, none of that. And then I didn't like them kids. After that happened, so I used to be friends with one of them. I used to be friends with all of them. And they jumped me. And I didn't know what, because I didn't rob them for any money. I never did them wrong. I never talked bad about them or anything like that until Blake tried to rob me. And I talked shit, bragging that I beat his ass whenever he tried to hop out on me, because we used to be friends. I didn't do any of them wrong, so I was kind of pissed off. But, I mean, that's really the beef. And Gaven's my homeboy, that's like my brother, so whatever we get into together is us. Like, it doesn't matter, like, if he's got beef with somebody and I like them, it doesn't matter if I like them. That's my brother, he's got beef with them, I got beef with them. So I think that's kind of how it was, but I don't think Gaven, one of the boys, I don't think he had beef with. Like, he was kind of mutual friends with, and I guess that's kind of what
Which
happened.
one of the boys?
Some kid named Adam, and maybe that's it. Like, I know that's like one of the people he was texting, but that's all I could really think of that came and picked him up. And when that incident happened, was one of the kids that you talked to named Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And I didn't go with him because one, I was laying on the couch and I was just tired.
You're being a little bit honest with me.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm gonna be a little more honest with you.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
like a thing. I know about the drug deal, okay?
Yes, sir.
I know that they come over there for a treat, and I know that you was like, hey dude, I don't care if you fucking sell weed, dude. I really don't. I'm not here for that. I'm not, you know? So they come over there, you're like, hey, you're gonna have to set this up. They don't like me, we got beef.
Mm-hmm.
You're cool with Adam, you know him,
Yeah.
okay? And so you handle it.
That's what you're talking, yeah.
You gotta,
This
you gotta
is,
step up.
I see what you're saying, you're almost there, but it's not like that. It's like, they texted him asking him for some, and I didn't have nothing to do with it. He was like, hey, I'm not gonna serve him. I was like, I don't know, I don't like them, and they don't like me, and they know they don't like me, because Adam was one of the boys that jumped me. Adam, Blake, and Devin Alfred, a redhead kid. Devin probably wasn't in the car. Y'all probably didn't interview him, but it was 3 kids that jumped me. I was like, Adam's one of them boys that jumped me. I said, don't do it, bro. It's probably gonna be a setup. That's what I told him. I said, Gavin, it's gonna be a setup, bro. And if you're gonna go out there and some shit's gonna go down, I'm gonna go with you. And he said, no, you're not coming with me. He said, I got this, bro. I got this. I said, all right. Went on the couch, started watching TV with my girl, and fell asleep.
Yeah, fall asleep.
Huh?
Let's stop that. You ain't fall asleep.
Yes, I did, sir. I fell
I've
asleep.
got, what, 1, 2, 3. Your girlfriend's 4. Zach is 5.
Haley said I wasn't asleep.
Got 5.
We was
witnesses.
asleep together.
5 witnesses said you weren't sleeping. Because the gunshot went off. You, Zach, both ran outside the front yard. See what's up.
You're
Okay.
saying you didn't hear the gunshot?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I've been here a while. There's a reason why you're the last one. I mean, it just, you know, we had an order. And I hate to say this, bro. Look at me. Because I'm being real with you. We picked on the weakest ones. My shit's a little bit dirty. I'm sorry, man. But there's a reason why there's a pecking order in life. And it's our
The detectives tell Riggs that they don't believe him and that all of the witnesses contradict his story. Riggs seems surprised at this, as if he didn't expect to be thrown under the bus by his friends. He seems nervous, wondering exactly how much they know and what he needs to say to turn their attention to someone else.
top 3 people. You know? That's 60% of my job is being able to read somebody and know what I'm in, you know. You wanna, okay, so this is comical. Okay, so I heard Gaven tells David here, and I'm Mark, by the way, I'm sorry. That detective shit bothers me. So this is Mark, David, and this is Ashton, right? So Gaven sits there and he goes, I was like, so tell me what happened, man. And this dude straight up told me some fucking Jackie Chan shit. Like, he said that he was out there, he got, what is it, snuck, or what do they call it?
Snuck, pistol whip.
He got fucking sucker punched, basically. That's what I call it. I call it sucker punch. So he gets sucker punched in the side of the face, and he goes like this right here. He's like, it's all kind of like slow motion, and I see a pistol up in his lap. And I grab his pistol from the front seat, and I go like this, and I just shoot him because I was scared. I'm like, that shit doesn't happen. That shit doesn't happen. And
Well,
then
so we
talk
have
to-
these movies made
No,
up.
it does. It does. So, I mean, I've got, you know, time. You can't tell I'm fat and out of shape and shit now, but you know, once upon a time, you know, I did my term in the military, in the Marine Corps, and you know, I worked with like some Israeli special forces guys when I went to Iraq as a contractor. And some bad dudes that were just like straight up heathens, you know, and they even say it's bullshit. But that's what he told me. And then Zach was like, yeah, I know what happened. They pulled a gun on him, and he snatched it out of their hand, and he shot him with it.
That's what I heard, sir.
Yeah, that's bullshit too.
I heard they were trying to rob him.
Because,
And I told him it was a setup too, and he said I got it, and just went out there.
it's just
Swear.
because the truth
Mm.
is he got a gun from you. He
From
did not
me?
get the gun. He definitely came back and gave you the gun.
No, he didn't get the gun from me, and he didn't give me the gun.
He did.
You got the story wrong, because I didn't give him the gun, and I didn't have a gun. I had no weapon. I just got off on...
Did you have your own gun?
No, sir. I just got off on a firearm charge. Why would I have a gun?
Why would, because of protection, because these guys have beef with you.
Yeah, but...
But why
I
would
was
a
silent.
guy that just shot another person say, why, I mean, it's like, yeah, I did it, you know? I was like, well, where'd you get the gun? Got it
Well,
from Ashton.
no, I did not have no gun, sir.
He gave me a black M&P 9mm.
No, sir. Did not have
Yeah.
a gun.
Small.
The small one.
Not
Didn't
like
have a gun,
small.
sir. Didn't have a
The
gun.
small one. And then what's so crazy is like, you know, you gotta step up, you gotta do this. He goes out there, he gets in the vehicle, he goes around the corner, comes back, and then they go to get the vehicle or whatever. That's when he had his little story. Anyways, after that happens, he runs down back towards the house or whatever, and
Says
I mean,
y'all
we
are,
gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here.
well, first of all, it says y'all are coming out of the house.
Well, I was
Somebody in a
like,
black ski mask or some shit.
yeah, I was sitting on the couch whenever it happened, and Zach, I just remember, like, I heard a pow, and then Zach was running out the door, and I jumped over the couch, and I looked out the window, I didn't see anybody, so I ran out there, and then I see Gaven running, and he was like, they stuck me up or something like that, and then,
He told you that outside?
yeah, he was like, they stuck me up. And I was like, damn, bro, what happened? He was like, I got the gun and shot him. And then he was like, Zach ran to the room, and that's what they started arguing about, was a ride. That's what happened. It was a ride that they were arguing about. And then I just started yelling, screaming, and Haley's like, they're fighting. So I busted in there, Zach's on top of his grandpa, I break it up, and there you go. We're back to where we're at. But that's what happened, shit.
Okay, so in theory,
But I didn't give him a gun, and I didn't have a gun after the fact.
Riggs emphatically denies that he provided the gun or even had one with him. In light of his previous weapons charge, he knows that things could go very badly if he is connected with a gun, especially one used in a murder. But with everyone else pointing the finger at him, police are unlikely to believe him.
Well,
so then by that account,
Yes, sir.
if I ask you for consent to do a DNA swab, and if I find this bag that you allegedly took out there to the wooded area, it's not going to have the pistols in it, right? It's not going to have your DNA on it. It's only going to have whoever he snatched that pistol from,
Yes,
his
sir.
DNA on it, right?
Yes, sir.
And Gavin's.
Yes, sir.
Those are the only two people's DNA that's going to be on there.
Yes, sir.
If I go out there and find that bag,
Yes, sir.
your DNA is not going to be out there
No, sir.
because you never carried a bag out there.
No,
or-
sir. I carried Haley's bag out there.
that's
it was
a pinkish bag.
No,
Powder.
it was like a brown bag, and it was like this, and I carried it, and we ran. That's what happened, sir.
So
I didn't run all the way to the woods and come back. That's way too long. I was scared. I just hit an old man. I looked around for clothes, and then I just grabbed Haley's bag, put some clothes in it, grabbed it, and ran. That's what happened.
but just in case, if I go out there and I find it, your DNA is not going to be on it.
No, sir.
And you'll do a consent. I have a DNA,
Yes,
a
sir,
guy come
you
in here
can-
and do a buckle swab right
Yes,
now.
sir. Go ahead.
And you're nothing in, okay. Alright. Give me 1 second. You want some water or something?
All right. Need some more?
Yes, sir. Where would be fine?
I'll get one. Ashton, this is the Atlanta. He's gonna do the block swab, they call it.
First off, make sure that right information.
$225.
at 6:45?
Oh, I meant, yeah, no, the date,
No.
of 2:25.
What time is it?
Like 6:45 a.m.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been arrested for 9 hours.
Think about that. What time did you get up yesterday?
I don't remember. It was
You were
early.
asleep on the couch, you told me. That's not a trick question. You were.
It was like 11.
Okay, first one.
Ashton Riggs, ASH team. Our
Your name is Tyler,
Yes, sir.
Tylu.
Mm.
Okay. What's gonna happen is there's 2 swabs in here. I'm gonna be swabbing your gum and along your teeth jawline, okay? And then I'll be doing both sides of your mouth. All right. Is it enough?
At the detective's request, Riggs submits to a DNA test. It is a risky choice because if he has touched the bag in question without remembering doing so, he has just handed over vital evidence that could strengthen the case against him.
All right.
Yeah, we're just,
All right, once you see that I sealed it.
so, I only got a couple more things. When you guys went out to go out and see what was going on, who took the brass knuckles?
Brass knuckles. I'm not sure if I had some or not, but I remember I did have some in my pocket that I kept on me. I might have had them, sure.
What they look like?
They were like kind of black and they had skulls on them. I know there's a gold pair and a one with skulls on it. I had the one with skulls on me at all times.
So there's another pair out there then?
Yeah,
Does one of
there's
them have a knife on it?
not the ones that we have, but I've seen one with a knife on it. It's brass knuckles with a knife, but not the one at our house. So it's one of our friends. But we do have a gold pair and then a black pair.
Okay, so you may have had the brass knuckles when you went out?
Yes, sir, but I didn't have them like out. I had them in my pocket, maybe. But that's how I walked around like that, just in case anybody came in the house or something like that.
Alright, so, you guys hear the shot, you run outside, and Gavin's running up. who's wearing the black ski mask or whatever? Who has a black ski mask over it?
I had a jacket on, I had a black jacket on, but Gaven didn't have a ski mask, and I don't think.
This is kind of one of like those like little nylon things, the little stretchy things that you can hide your face with.
I'm not sure. Maybe Zach had one on, but I ran out there in the hoodie.
You ran out there?
I think Zach had a bandana on. I don't think it was a mask. I think it was a bandana. I'm not sure.
Was that something that could have got put in a bag because we didn't find it at the house?
It could have, yes, sir.
In the black bag you took out?
No, sir. I didn't take a black bag out. I took Haley's bag out.
It wasn't in Haley's bag, and it wasn't anywhere in the house. That's why I'm wondering.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It might be in my stuff, in my dirty laundry or something.
Where's your
At
dirty
the
laundry?
It's like a white basket with my clothes in it.
Okay, it wasn't in there either. Anyways, so whoever was in a ski mask, somebody come back in. All three of you come back in. Just correct me whenever I'm wrong. You and Zach go into Grandma and Grandpa's room and want to ride over to Gavin's house. All three of you.
No, sir. I mean, that's kind of what happened, but it was more of Gaven and Zach. Gaven was in the kitchen, Zach went in there, and then I was in the living room with my girlfriend. They started arguing. I walked in there. Gaven, Zach opened the door, threw the purse, and said, go, or something like that. It was like car keys, and her car was like, leave. And I grabbed the purse from the ground, set it on the counter, and busted in the room and broke them. That's what happened.
The detectives can't get Riggs to admit to taking the bag, and he won't change his story about what happened. In certain scenarios, he might get away with the excuse of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but history with the victim, combined with witness testimony, makes his story sound more desperate than believable.
I didn't go in there with Zach initially. I heard him fighting, and then I interfered. I went in there.
Now, I know you're checking on stuff. You sure there wasn't a situation where Gaven gave you the gun
No, sir.
and then you took a gun
No, sir.
and put it in a backpack
No, sir.
and ran out the back gate and then didn't come back with the backpack?
No, sir.
You're telling me that didn't happen?
No, sir.
That, what is that, M&P? That 9mm right there he's holding?
I don't think that's a real gun, sir. I know that one right there, that's a CO2 pistol, and it should be still at the house. That's a CO2 pistol. That is, I think, a 380, and I think that's legal too. Those two are legal. Those are his grandparents, actually. I think those are really, that's a 22, that's a 380. Those are legal. That's a CO2 gun. I think that's an airsoft, and I think that's a CO2 gun, but I'm not 100% sure, sir.
That looks like a Taurus 40 count to me.
No, I think that's a CO2 gun, sir.
Well, that looks more like a Taurus 40 caliber PT 940 to me.
I mean, what you guys doing, man?
What do you mean, sir?
What, I mean, why choose this lifestyle?
Like, to be honest with you, sir, I'm not trying to get in any trouble. That's why.
So why does lying have anything to do with it?
Lying when you
Hey,
mention.
we got the bag, it's right where she said it was,
Next to the pink,
marked, just like
whatever
it
mark with
said.
the pink, what is it?
It's got the brass
Is
knuckles,
that
it's
pink
got,
topple or what?
yeah, it's got the brass knuckles, it's got the mask in it, it's got both guns, they're the same guns that are shown in the photo that these guys are posing with. So they're starting working for DNA right now,
Is that what my text message was?
yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to get my undivided attention right here.
You know anything else from me right now?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Look,
Look at that.
what that girl,
What's Mark?
that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Oh my god. That's why I don't understand why you're sitting here protecting people, man, and
I mean, I was just trying to help my friend. I was just trying to help my friend from getting in trouble.
Well, and see, that's a noble purpose, all right? But
how long
not
have you
at the extent, I'm sorry, go ahead.
how long have you known that friend?
I can't even tell you, not that long ago. I just, whenever I first met him, he just looked out for me, and he was like my best friend. He just always looked out for me, we did everything together.
I'll let David finish. I interrupted him kind of. I was just curious about how long ago, because both of them said that he hadn't been here long enough at all to be any real, you know.
June of
whatever.
last year.
Sure.
June of last year.
Yes,
Not
sir.
even a year. And in that time, he's gotten in trouble, he's been in a program, but he's not looking out for you, Ashton.
Think we can get that real story?
Sure.
You think we can get that real story now?
Yes, sir. So, after it happened, I did run out with the bag, and I told him, I said, y'all are gonna be okay. I said, put the guns in the bag, I'm gonna run out there, I'm gonna ditch them, and nobody can find them, and then I ditched them, sir.
Knowing that he just shot somebody with one of them guns.
Yes, sir. I mean, I wasn't 100% sure, but I guess that I didn't want him to get in trouble, so
Knowing that he didn't take that gun from those people out there.
I'm not 100% sure, sir.
So you're saying he toted his own gun and you didn't give it to him?
I didn't give him a gun, sir. I don't want any
So-
weapons.
so
I don't
I-
have
I-
one.
Riggs is backed into a corner, and he knows that no matter what he says, it will not be believed. That doesn't stop him from denying that he ever had a gun. Since he doesn't know exactly what information they have, he's playing it safe and not giving them anything that they may not already know.
So, even with him telling us that you gave him that gun,
Yes, sir.
and even with you admitting that when he came back with that gun, you hit it, you still gonna stick with the story that you didn't give?
I promise you, sir, I didn't give him a weapon, and I
Even,
didn't.
even
It's
though there
not
are
my
pictures,
weapon.
even
Yes,
though
sir.
there are pictures
Yes, sir.
of y'all posing, and I'm not gonna make the mistake of saying that you posted, somebody took that picture and somebody posted it.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
Right. Same guns.
Yes, sir. I didn't give him the gun, no, sir. I promise you. I didn't give him the gun, but yes, sir. I did take the guns and I hit him because I didn't want anybody to get in
Where
trouble.
did the silver Taurus come from?
The Taurus? I don't know, whenever I got out, they had it. Whenever I got out, they had the 380, and then they had the Taurus, and then the 9 came up a little while later. I don't remember how, but it came up. But I had nothing to do with the guns, sir. I didn't buy any weapons, I didn't steal any weapons.
You knew they were firearms and you took them out in the woods.
Yes, sir. Like, after it happened, Jeanette was calling the cops. And I just didn't want anybody to get in trouble, sir.
That was kind of like the start of the trouble, according to Chris Seaver. He saw it, according to Chris Seaver, that's when the trouble started. Say that he saw you with the backpack run out to the woods, and he knew something bad.
Well, so I had got done doing that, and I came in the house and I was looking for Zach and Gavin. I had no idea where they were. I don't remember if I saw him or not, but nobody was there. So I was looking, and Chris came out and he was like, "Where did you just go? Where's Gavin and Zach?" And started yelling at me and stuff. And he was like, "I want you out of my house right now." And I was like, "Sir, I don't know what's going on," and stuff. I was kind of lying because I didn't know where Gavin and Zach were. And I'm like, where did they go? So I'm just kind of lying to keep to save them, and then that was that. And then they started arguing over a ride. I broke it up, and that's what happened to fight. I didn't just run up and hit him after he got on to me for that, like running out the house and stuff. I didn't just run up and hit him. I hit him after he grabbed me by my throat, and there should be marks or something, but he grabbed me by my throat, and then I hit him, and I walked out the room. That was that. So.
Well, that's his house, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If somebody tells you you're not welcome at their house, you think it's wise to argue with them?
No, sir, not at all. No, sir.
Because you have a house, right?
Sir?
You have a place that you normally
Yes,
live?
sir.
Where's that?
Union Park Road. But I'm about to move in with my mom, because I was gonna.
Who do you live with over there on Union Park Road?
My dad and my sister.
What's your dad's name?
Ronald Riggs.
So,
RONNIE.
is it really Ronnie or Ronald?
I think it's Ronald, actually. Ronald Carl Riggs.
Laying his head on the desk, Riggs appears tired and resigned. He has probably realized that there is no hope of getting out of this without serving time, and at this point, he is just trying to minimize his punishment rather than avoiding it completely.
Alright, man. You're on probation?
No, sir.
You're not? Do you have any felony convictions?
I'm not sure if it got dropped, sir. Anything else you guys want to know?
What about Cody Cummings?
Mm-hmm.
What about him?
I wasn't necessarily with him when I was locked up, but I know the situation happened.
Cody Cummings and Sean?
Yeah, something about they had beef with Skylar Boyd or something.
Mm-hmm.
I know something like that.
Who all went over there on that one?
I wasn't with them, sir. I think it was just Sean and Cody. That's all.
There's a third person up there.
Not that I know of. That's not what he told me personally.
Cody told you that personally?
He said it was just him and Sean.
When did he tell you that?
I mean, I was locked up with him.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, we were in the cell together because my dad and his dad grew up together. I've always known him since he was a little kid, so I was looking out for him and stuff.
What about Drayton Cruz?
Drayton Cruz, I don't associate with him.
You don't know who went up and shot up his house?
No, sir. I don't associate with Drayton.
Why don't you associate with him?
A little while ago, like whenever I said that, them kids robbed me. Whenever them kids hopped out and I beat Blake's ass or whatever, apparently, Drayton, something to do with Drayton was involved with that. He didn't get out of the car, but he was in the car, and I think he's the one that set us up. He said where we were and stuff, and that type of deal, but that's why I don't associate with him. Like I said, after like that situation happened, after my friend hopped out on me, I stopped fucking with everybody. I just stayed in the house. I hung out with Gaven and went to school. That was it.
Okay.
I just kind of stuck with myself.
Zachary said a couple times that you and Gavin weren't supposed to associate.
So,
Yeah, you and Gavin weren't supposed to associate. Is that
we
true?
weren't so.
Well, I mean, who said that? Was that a court order or something?
Because we were co-defendants on pistol charges.
Yeah, you
but we
both
both, got them dropped. But we weren't supposed to be around each other because it was court ordered by the judge.
Okay.
And the real reason why I was like at Zach's house, to be honest with you, was after I got jumped my second day out of DEC, and whenever I got jumped at the park.
The time that they beat you up.
Yeah, I went and told my dad, and my family had just pulled up to my house. I went to my dad, and he just went off on me. He got really mad at me. He said that I shouldn't be robbing people, that this wouldn't happen, and that I'm a danger to the family, and that someone's gonna end up shooting us and the family. And he just made me feel like shit. And he didn't believe anything I said. I told him I didn't rob them. I told him I did nothing wrong to them. They tried to rob me, and I fought back. And because of that, that's what happened. And he pretty much told me I didn't need to stay there anymore. But
Well, listen, and
Yes,
I'm not there. I'm not your dad.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to tell you anything, okay? But, you know, your dad kind of has a point. He may not be right on all the facts, but remember what we talked about before we came in here. You lay down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas, okay?
yes, sir.
And he's just concerned that your lifestyle is probably gonna endanger Leah, right? And it kind of has. These people are saying because they got a beef with you, that they're gonna pistol whip Aaliyah. You see
My
what
little
I'm saying?
sister, yes, sir.
Yeah, you see what
And
I'm
that makes me mad, but like at the same time, I can't do nothing about it. I just got out of jail. I did nothing wrong to anybody. Like I didn't call the cops on them. I took my ass beaten. I didn't fuck with them at all. I don't have any guns. I don't have any drugs. I stay sober. I was gonna get a job. I tried to get my job back at Taco Bell. I called him. Never answered my text.
But hey, listen.
Yes, sir.
And look, you got
The detectives aren't able to get Riggs to change his story. At this point, they don't truly expect him to, and the interview has just become a matter of going through the motions, although they're giving it one final try at emotional manipulation.
enough on your plate. Okay? I'm not here to lecture you or preach to you. I'm really not. Okay? Really. Okay? I'm just saying that this is the path that you started down a while back when you were living the life. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You start in little tiny steps, and yeah, these guys aren't letting it go. But you kind of started it, you see, when you got in a fight, beat Blake's butt, and told everybody about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay? This is what starts it. Okay? So I'm not here to lecture you. I'm really not, Ashton. Okay? But you
I
know,
see what you're coming from.
I'm just saying that your dad probably has to think not just about you, but he's got to think about your sister, your younger sister. He's got to think about his household. Okay?
That's what I understood. Like
Yeah,
I didn't.
and I get that, and that's good. Sometimes we just have to take our punishment for a while. Okay?
Really, I was just trying to like lay low. I was trying to get enrolled in Florida virtual, but I don't know how to. I don't know what to do to enroll.
Sometimes, listen. You may not be able to go back to Taco Bell. Okay? You may have to find something else to do. Okay?
I'm scared to walk around in my own town. Like every time I walk around, kids are trying to fight.
Listen, I'm going to leave you with this for a minute and check in with them and see what because it is now, like 7:10, and
Yes,
I'm sure my sergeant and folks who are along with me, just like you, have been here all night. But I'm just going to tell you, like I said, I'm not here to lecture you, okay? And I appreciate that you eventually, after you jumped through all the hoops, kind of manned up and told the truth. We kind of
I was just scared, sir. You understand?
I get that. I understand. And like I said, I'm going to give you this thought, and I'll leave you with that.
So what's gonna happen, sir?
Okay, hold on. That's gonna be up to Detective Murdoch, okay? This is his case. I know that you and I met when you walked up on me out there at the house, but that was because he was busy elsewhere, okay? But it's Detective Murdoch's case,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And, you know, I don't lie to people, so that's, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna let him tell you, all right?
Yes, sir.
But, hey, listen, when I was your age, I finally had to move away from my little neighborhood. I'm serious.
Yes, sir.
Okay? That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Because it kept pulling me back. And there were people who, you know, didn't have my best interests at heart. Sometimes that's what you gotta do, you know? I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that's what I had to do, right?
And really, that's what I want to do. That's what I feel like I should.
I went away and went to school, all right? And that worked for me. Okay, remember what we talked about out there about electrician school?
Yes, sir.
But, you need to consider that. They're advertising it on the radio all the time, where it doesn't cost you any money, and, you know, you apprentice is what it's called, and after a couple of years, you become what they call a journeyman electrician, and make tons of money. So think about it. Let me talk to them in a second.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ashton.
Yes, sir.
This is Sergeant Davis. Got one or two questions.
Good morning, all right.
Yes, sir.
This shit ain't so cool no more, is it? We're in some serious shit. Okay. Right now, everybody's rolling on me. Okay?
You want me?
Yeah. So, if there's anything you can think of to help yourself out right now,
Yes, sir.
I don't know you from Joe Blow, and you don't know me, but I'm telling you, right now's the time to help yourself out.
Riggs is being made to think that this is his last chance to save himself, and that it is critical for him to give them the information that they're looking for. Riggs remains hesitant to commit himself.
So what do you want to know? I'll tell you anything, everything that happened.
Tell me about the gun Gaven had.
The gun that he had? From what I know, he got it from somebody. I'm not sure how, but he got it. Maybe he stole it from somebody. Something like that.
Okay. He says he got it from you.
I know, he told me that.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't in here running the game on yet. I mean, it's for real deal shit.
I know.
Yeah, you're the last one that we've talked to because everybody has done this right here.
Pointed at me, everybody said that. Everybody said I had the gun, I gave Gavin the gun.
Everybody says that you are a major player in this. I mean, from the beginning to orchestrating the drug deal, to giving him the gun,
Wow.
everything.
That's crazy.
Oh, this is fucking crazy. It's all recorded.
Yeah. I can't believe that, sir.
I don't believe it.
That's not what happened though. I can tell you how it went down. I'll tell you start from finish. So, Gavin, Gavin had planned on selling to Adam, which is one of the kids that jumped me, one of the kids I didn't like, I didn't fuck with, and I didn't want to serve him anything. Gavin was going to sell him Xanax. Gavin had Xanax on him, he sold Xanax. I didn't fuck with that stuff. You can drug test me, I don't fuck with that stuff. So he was gonna sell Adam Xanax, and I was like, all right, bro, I don't fuck with him, so that's all you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's all your business. So I don't fuck with Adam. I even told him, I said, you fuck with me, like we're good friends, and Adam's got beef with me, so I don't think you should sell to him. I never gave him the gun. He's had that gun. He stole it. He's probably on camera stealing it. That's what I heard. There's a rumor going around that he was on camera stealing it. So I didn't give him the gun, And I didn't orchestrate the drug deal or whatever you said. I didn't start the drug deal. It was him that started it, and there's probably text messages to prove it.
Okay.
Y'all already found my phone.
No, we didn't. I
Or
didn't,
somebody.
I didn't say you orchestrated it. I was
Yes,
just telling you what.
There's
everyone-
some.
Yeah, everyone else has told us.
Yes,
How old are you?
I'm 16. I can't believe everybody said that, because that's not what happened. Why would everybody say that if that's not what happened?
How do you think we found the bag?
Sir,
How do you think we found the bag?
someone probably told you. Somebody told you.
Who do you think told us?
I'm not sure.
Who was you with?
Hey,
You trust Jamie, don't you? You see how this works?
everything, yes, sir.
What was the plan of, did Gavin know there was gonna be some beef?
I mean, I don't think he knew, but I had a feeling. I told him plenty of times, I said, bro, don't do it. It's gonna be a setup. They're gonna set you up. They're gonna set you up. That's what I kept telling him. I said, bro, you were fucking dumb. I said, don't fucking do it. You were dumb as fuck.
So let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Since you're the bad guy, you know, everybody says you're the bad guy. You're the last one we've talked to.
Yes, sir.
Did Gavin make any comments about maybe any threats toward anybody that he was going to meet or anything like that?
No.
Did he say some shit was gonna go down?
No, he didn't say anything like that. All he said was, he said, if some shit does go down, I love you, bro. And I said, all right, I love you too. And he went out there and did it. But before that, he said nothing like that. He was telling me that he's gonna handle it and everything's gonna be okay. And I kept telling him it wasn't. But he didn't threaten anybody or anything like that.
And you're not protecting anybody?
No,
right
sir.
now?
Not anymore. 'Cause, I mean, they're all ratting. Yeah, they're all ratting on me. So,
Ashton, here's my question. If you didn't really know Adam that well, this was all, okay,
yes, sir.
but if this was all Gavin's deal,
Mm-hmm.
how did you even know about it? You didn't like
Because-
these people.
Yes, sir. But how I knew about it was because Gavin was texting them in front of me and talking to me about it. He was at Zach's house whenever it happened.
The fact that everyone has turned on Riggs is clearly bothering him, and he is ready to blame everything on them. Unfortunately for him, it is 5-1 with the evidence against him.
That's how I knew about it. He literally was telling me what they were saying as
So
they
he
were
was
texting.
texting them?
Yes, sir.
You know we have his phone.
Yes, sir. That's fine. And you have my phone now too, and you're free to go through it. And you're not going to see text messages between them.
Tell you what, you're a young man and you got a lot of strength.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna play a major factor in your life, especially in the future.
Yes, sir.
I want you to use your head wisely, alright?
Mhm.
Anybody wrong with that?
Yes, sir.
You know, you just said you could go through your phone, it's not gonna show anything about any contact between you and these guys, correct?
That's why we're good. It's on Snapchat. That's where, sir, go through his phone and look on Snapchat. That's whenever the text message disappeared, but I know y'all can, there's a way y'all can pull them up. There's gotta be a way.
Well, why would Gavin not listen to you?
Sir, I don't know, and I don't get why they would rap on me like that, because I really didn't do
No, I'm
nothing.
saying, like, okay, you're telling him, you got this beef with these guys, okay? They tried to
He
rob you.
knows it. He
Right.
knows that they tried to rob us.
Sure, so why wouldn't he listen to you?
I have no idea, and I kept telling him not to. I told him, I said, bro, it's gonna go down south, and it's just not gonna be good. I said, why sell to them when you can sell to somebody that likes us, that fucks with us? I kept telling him that. He said, bro, I got it. He said, dude, nothing like that's gonna happen. He said, it's only gonna be Adam and one other person. Well, there ended up being a car full of people. But he said that it's only gonna be Adam and his cousin, his black cousin. I said, all right, bro. I said, well, just be careful, and that was and I just don't get why they would rattle me, because I was trying to help them. You know what I'm saying?
I do
Because
understand what you're
I
saying.
didn't do anything wrong, so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna ditch the guns, and I'm gonna get out of here and just.
What kind of phone is that?
It's an iPhone
What
7.
iPhone 7?
Yes, sir. It was in, you know, the Adidas bag, the duffel bag they found. That's mine with all my clothes in it.
Okay. And what's the password?
0807.
0807?
Yes, sir.
You know the telephone number?
904 760
760
0040.
0040. Who's your provider?
Boost Smoking.
All right. Initial those two spots and sign right there. Hey, Ashton. Yeah. I know you're trying to help folks. Sorry.
I just can't believe that, dude. That's like, I just can't
I'm not gonna say that everybody was happy, but, you know, when they had to choose, you know? You see which way they chose. Well, look, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad about your friends. I don't want you to feel like the world's against you. I'm just saying it's kind of the way things work in life, you know? Right.
Riggs is the picture of defeat. What little fight he had within him is gone.
Hey, Ashton. Okay, last thing that's gonna be done, just by me, is gonna be taking your photographs. What I need you to do, stay right here.
We're gonna get some pictures like, you want to say?
Stay just like that.
Try to be fair.
The interview ends, and Riggs stands up to have his mugshot taken before he is processed and transferred.
Now seeing and hearing for the first time interrogation video of one of two teenagers charged in the shooting death of a West Nassau High School football player. 16-year-old Trent Fort was killed back in February.
Both teens are facing serious charges for a 16-year-old student's murder.
So, I guess we're kind of just trying to piece together kind of what happened. And I'm gonna tell you, like I told, we've interviewed 10 people so far. We've got you, and we've got Ashton, and we've got Zach left. This thing is big, and we're just, everybody sees something different. Just like we tell everybody the same thing. if Dave and I, we go somewhere and all three of us go somewhere and something happens, what you see, what I see, what David sees, it's gonna be a little bit similar, but we're gonna have our own version of it, you know? So we're just trying to get, basically, we got this big picture of things that we're trying to piece together. And it's just because the way our mind processes things, you know, you might see something I didn't see. David might see something neither one of us saw. And that's kind of what we're finding out. But it takes everybody a collaborative effort to kind of get this big picture of what happened, what took place. And so we're taking into consideration what you had said earlier as far as, what was it? Deontay and Adam? You know Deontay or Adam?
I know Adam.
You know Adam?
And then they said Deontay was his cousin, I think.
But Adam's white though, right?
Yeah.
Adam's the guy that was Snapchatting on the phone and offering you a ride.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? And
And then he said his cousin was with him.
Where were you trying to get a ride to?
Back to my house, because I was just going over there to pick up this sweatshirt. I was going over to his house to pick up my sweatshirt. They had picked me up from school, and then on
Who's they? Because we're really, this thing's so big, if you could use names for me, that'd be awesome.
Zach and Ashton and Haley and his grandpa, they all picked me up from school. And then like on the way, Zach's grandpa was like, "Are we going to Walmart?" I'm like, "No, we gotta go to the house." So we went to the house. I grabbed this and another another shirt to put in my bag. Put those in my bag because I was just trying to get my stuff and get from over there. But my dad had talked to me and said I need to stop hanging out with them people because they're gonna get me in trouble and I'm not supposed to be around them and stuff. So I got my backpack and then I was.
Smith's body language is closed off and secretive. He has his arms stuffed in his shirt, and those familiar with reading body language can tell that this is a sign that he is trying to conceal the truth. Smith also tells the detective that he was warned not to hang out with Riggs and his friends because it would lead Smith into trouble. This is interesting because Riggs says the same thing about Smith.
Sitting there and I was talking to Adam and he was like, "Oh yeah, we can hang out, you take me home and stuff." And I thought he was just supposed to be like picking me up.
you thought he was your friend.
Yeah, thought he was my friend, taking me home. Like, not really friend, but like associate. Like, I've known him from around town and stuff a little bit. And they picked me up, and then when I got in the car, we drove down the road a little bit.
Do you know, are you familiar with roads? Because if you could tell us which direction you went.
If you're facing like you're in the driveway of Zach's house and you're facing those woods, you took a right.
Okay.
We turned right, started going down that road, and then he took a left at the stop sign. And when he took a left, I seen like, I'm not exactly sure how many people it was, but there was a bunch of kids walking down the street. It was like 3 big black kids, 3 or 4 big black kids and like 2 white, and at least 2 white people. And then he kept going, then turned around, and then he came, and then he stopped, unlocked the door, and the big black kid came in, opened up the door, and punched me in the face right here.
Or can you lift your hair up so I can see if you have any marks or anything?
My nose was bleeding earlier, and there's like crusty blood in my nose. It was like right here.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. And then
So which guy opened the door? Do you remember?
I don't know his name.
Okay.
I've never seen him before, like ever.
Mhm.
I was the only person I've ever seen out of all of them is Adam.
Okay.
But apparently
Was he dark, light?
he was dark. Like not like super dark, but he was a little bit light skinned, like kind of dark. And
Do you remember what he was wearing or?
no,
Okay.
You remember about how tall it was?
he was pretty tall. But he opened the door, and as soon as he opened the door, he stuck me in the face. And when he stuck me in the face, I went like that and turned. And Adam had a gun, like, say there's like the center console, and it was like right here, like in his lap. And I had reached over and grabbed it, and I took it, and I just pointed at him and pulled the trigger. And then as soon as I pulled the trigger, I dropped the gun, and they was like, okay, you got that, you got that. And I got up and I hauled ass back to Zach's house. And I was trying to get them to drive me home, like drive me home, please drive me home. I didn't want to get out of here, And then they all started fighting, so I called my dad, and I was like, Dad.
Who's remember all of they?
It was Jeanette, Zach's grandma, Zach's grandpa.
So Miss Super.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
His grandpa goes by Chris.
yeah.
Okay.
And then they all started fighting and stuff, and I was like, y'all chill, stop fighting, bro. And Zach started, or Zach's grandpa grabbed Zach, and then pushed him, and then I went like to go get him off, and then I was like, I'm not getting involved in this. I'm just trying to get out of here. So Jeanette was calling the police. I was like, all right. So Jeanette was calling the police, and I was like, all right, my dad's on the way, and then I was like, okay, wait. Police to get here, my dad's gonna get here, and figure this whole thing out.
So, what kind of gun was it?
It was black, and it looked kind of like your gun, but it was like small, and it was.
So we're talking about a pistol.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was smaller, and it was like. Less like square, like rectangular.
Okay. You know the difference between a revolver and
It wasn't a revolver.
okay. So it's like a semi-automatic. Right. And you said that Adam moved.
Smith's story doesn't give a valid reason for the fight or why he thought he needed to escalate matters with the gun. This weak statement falls in line with the theory that this was a drug deal.
And you could see it stuffed down by the console.
No, it wasn't stuffed. It was like next to his lap
Okay.
and the console, and like he was probably going to grab it. I'm not 100% sure, but as soon as I seen that, I went to go grab it because that's like the only thing I can think of to do because there's a bunch of people outside and about to try to jump me, so I ran and I grabbed that. And I shot either at him or something.
So, are you right or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
So you grab it with your right hand,
Yes, sir.
and then you remember how you were aiming, or did you just?
I grabbed it and I went like that. I grabbed it and I had just didn't point it out or anything. I just grabbed it, went like that, and then tossed it on the floor.
Okay. So, and this is nothing against you. I mean, obviously it's a very heated situation. Sometimes we just make a mistake or whatever and forget details or whatnot. But after speaking with people, did you take the gun back and give it to, what's his name? Ashton.
But Ashton had guns that he had like bought from people and stuff. That's another reason I didn't want to be over there because he had guns that he had bought from
Where did
people.
he have the guns?
That I honestly don't know because after that happened, he had grabbed them and was like, "Oh, then we gotta get rid of the guns." And he started putting them in a bag and like ran off. And I was still in the room talking to my dad on the phone.
Hey,
When he, so this is, okay, so Ashton is in the house, right? He wasn't out and about and doing whatever.
He was
He was in the house with Haley, or where was he?
I think they might have been, like, by the time I was down there, like, out in the front or something.
So
When I was running back, because I guess they had heard the shot and they were running outside. Like, they were all running outside towards them. And I was running back to the house, and I ran back in the house.
Hey, so to answer Detective Murdoch's question, you're saying after you shot the gun, and what, you shoot at the guy that was at the door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The one that was right at the door that had just hit me in the face.
Okay.
And then I got out and then started running, and when I was running,
which door was that?
that was the back left side door.
Behind the driver?
Yes.
So this guy that you thought was his cousin, Deontay, I think his name is, the light-skinned guy is driving.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting behind him?
I was sitting in the middle, and then when the dude went to go open, like they unlocked the door, I scooted over.
Was there anybody else in the vehicle besides
No.
the driver, Adam, and you?
No, not that I know of. There's nobody else in the vehicle because we was riding, we was talking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just like talking like he was just trying to pick me up, and then he came up and I seen the kid, and then he turned around and stopped, unlocked the doors, and I was like, all right, something's up.
Mm-hmm.
I knew something was up.
Okay. Hey, I kind of need you to break it down for me, because if I get it wrong, it's going to stay with me. So I try to get it right chronologically. You were at school, correct?
Yes, sir.
You go to what, adult education?
West Nassau.
West Nassau? Or you go to the adult education portion of it?
I go to West Nassau.
Okay.
Who is it that goes to adult ed? Somebody over there goes to adult ed.
I go to West Nassau, but I was about to start doing adult ed because it'd be easier for me to finish.
Zach goes to adult ed.
Or is that just online school?
They had to go pick Zach up from school though, right?
When they were picking me up from school.
Okay.
So, and I want to make sure I get it straight, okay? So you get out of
The detective is trying to get all the details straight, which isn't easy when the suspect gives a jumbled delivery. Smith may be doing this deliberately. If he is vague enough, he can cause enough confusion to work in his favor, and it is easier to walk things back if he is caught in a lie.
school what time?
30.
Okay, 3? What time?
No, 3:30.
3:30, okay. Who all came to get you?
It was Ashton, Haley, Zach, and his grandpa.
Okay, so Chris, Ashton, Zach, Haley too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they're picking you up
Yes.
at about 3:30. What are they driving, that Toyota?
The silver car.
Silver car? All right. Now, you're telling us, and make sure I get this right, that your dad didn't want you really hanging around with those folks, correct?
He didn't mind Zach too much, cause mainly just Ashton, and my dad had told me, like, you need to stop hanging around him. He's gonna get you in trouble. You're not supposed to be around him. And I sat down and talked to him. I was like, alright, bro, I'm gonna stop hanging out with him. And but I had some of my stuff there, and I didn't want to straight up just tell Ashton that I don't want to fuck with you anymore.
Okay, well, you're trying to be a good friend and not hurt people's feelings, I guess. Is that right?
I was going over there acting like I was just trying to chill out. I was really just trying to get the rest of my clothes, put them in my bag, and then go back home.
Okay, and that's the bag that you had with you. What is that in there? Is it a white hoodie?
Yeah, there's a white hoodie. That's the one I was wearing at first, and this is the one I was picking up.
Okay.
And there's a black shirt, I think, in there that I'm pretty sure I put the black shirt in there too.
So the white hoodie that's in the backpack is what you were actually wearing when all this happened?
No, this one was.
You were wearing that?
Yeah.
Okay. So your plan I guess what I'm hearing, you tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Your plan was to go over there and get your stuff and then get a ride back to your dad's, is that right? Okay, did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so while you're over there or sometime, so that's about 3:30, they pick you up, and someone told me that originally the plan was that y'all were all gonna go to the Walmart down on Lantern.
That's what they were saying when we were in the car.
Okay.
Zach's grandpa was like, so are we going to Walmart? I'm like, and then I'm like, no, go to the house.
Oh.
So he made a U-turn and went to the house.
So y'all are going down Lantern,
Yeah.
and then you turn around, what, have you already gotten past Spring
It
Lake?
was right past, like, we had just passed Spring Lakes, and I'm like, no, like, we're not going to Walmart, let's go to the house. So we were going to the house. I had no clue I had no idea about Walmart.
Okay. So then you head back to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're talking, what, around 4 o'clock or what, thereabouts? I'm just trying to keep it straight. Right. And while you're, I mean, you've got a phone, what is it, an iPod, iPad?
iPhone 8.
iPhone 8, the purple
Yeah.
OtterBox one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are you texting or are you Snapchatting Adam?
I was Snapchatting at him.
Okay, you were Snapchatting him or did he Snapchat you?
I Snapchatted him, and then, or he had Snapchatted me a couple days ago, but I didn't open it.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened it, he was like, yo, I was like, yo, you trying to hang out? You take me back to my house.
Okay.
And then he was like, yeah, bro, where you at? I said, Spring Lakes. He said, oh, shit, I'm right down the road. I can pull up.
So has he ever been over to the house before?
I guess, but he's been over there before I even moved to Canada.
I got you. So how did you know Adam? You said you were.
I know Adam just because, like, from around town, there's like kids like from school and stuff that hang out with him, and I'll like hang out with them after school at the park and stuff, and he'll be there.
Okay. Gotcha. So just kind of hanging out, Callahan, high school type stuff. Listen, do you have a problem with me taking a look at your phone that it would show?
Hanging out is a pretty ambiguous term. It doesn't really clarify if they engage directly with one another or just share a common space and are only vaguely aware of the other's presence. It gives no clue to their relationship dynamic without having to lie outright.
You talking to him? I know that Snapchat messages, once they do, would be okay if I did that. I'm not trying to get into your business. I'm just saying you're telling me that there
We're
are
not. So we went through, as a part of that, putting this puzzle together, everybody so far that we've spoken to has all given us consent to search your phone. Are you password protected?
Yeah.
What's that number? Do you need to see it on my phone? I can be able to find it.
I usually use my fingerprint. 09 730.
Well, is there any significance to that or anything?
No.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have that's a weird story, man. Mine's the same.
a lot of people use like their birthdays and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, but mine was like really weird. So, one of my best friends in the Marine Corps, his room number, or no, his phone number just happened to be the same as my PIN number. It was a 4-digit phone number, and his 4-digit phone number happened to be the same as my PIN number, and I've had that thing forever. It's just weird. I know it's late. We've been up a while. You know, you've been up a while. It's a freaking crazy night. You know. Where do you live?
617-341 Brandy's Ave.
So you live over on Brandy's Avenue. Where is that on Brady's Avenue? Is that the,
The Ace Hardware, the house right next to it.
okay, so you're not in the apartment up above it or anything? I gotcha. So you were getting a ride from Ashton, is it Ashton?
Yeah.
No. After school, you got a ride from Ashton, Haley, Zach,
That's Mr. Suber's car.
Yeah.
Suber to go over there to get your stuff. And you live over there. How do you normally get home from school? Like if you're gonna go to your house, you just walk, right? When's the last time that Alan gave you a ride?
He's never given me a ride before.
Okay. Is there a reason why you thought of him to like, hey man, can you give me a ride? You wanna hang out?
Just because it was like, he was hitting me up and I like, said, yo, where you at? And Spring Lake. He was like, oh, I'm right here. I'm like, bro, you can scoop me, hang out, take me back to my house. But my plan was like, have them take me back to my house, chill in my house for a little bit maybe or something.
Okay. Where's the Zanny bars come into this whole thing?
And the next bar was, he said that he had some and he was like, yeah, bro, you want to buy some of these? I'm like, no, I don't want to buy them. And then, I guess, like, Ashton was trying to sell them, trying to sell his Xanax bars too, because trying to make money or whatever. And then that's another reason I didn't want to be over there. They were all trying to, like, they were trying to sell weed and sell pills and stuff.
Oh, I saw all the stuff, man. I saw all of it.
You know, I'm like, bro, I don't want to be a part, no, I'm not trying to get caught up for drug dealing. I'm on probation.
What are you on probation?
Resisting arrest.
Okay. Well, you've been very cooperative tonight, and we appreciate it. I promise you that. It's just like, but we really want to get to the bottom of this. We want to know what happened 100%. You know, and I want to be straight up honest with you. I don't think you're giving us the whole scoop, man. And the reason why is because everybody's stories are kind of lining up on both sides except for yours, you know? So what, you hang on to a gun, you take it back there, you know, Ashton grabs it from you, puts it with the rest of the guns he has. We have 25 people or 30 people out there with flashlights. I don't know if you saw them, they brought out big ass floodlights.
Yeah, I see.
We're bringing the daylight to the night. You know?
Smith blames everyone else for the drugs and tries to claim that he had no part in any of the deals. The police are more than a little skeptical. They tell him that his story doesn't match with those of the other witnesses, which is the same tactic they used with Riggs. Whether true or not, the hope is that it will throw Smith off balance enough to give them more usable details.
We've got canines sent, all of that. We're gonna find it. And
I mean, if we
know
don't
you've
find it
watched them,
tonight, we'll find it when it turns light in the morning.
but we're not leaving. We're not leaving. We already know that Ashton and Haley were out there trying to get people to come pick up them, the bag, all of that. We're gonna find it. And we do, this is 2020. Shit is magical in 2020. You know? I take a little swab from you, I send it to CODIS. When we find that bag, I swab that bag, I find the ski mask you were wearing, I find the, you did, and I also find the other thing, unless you have a black shirt around your head, bro, you were identified down to the mustache through a ski mask.
Who? Ashton and Zach ran down the road with ski masks on.
They did?
After they heard the gunshot, they ran down the road with ski masks on.
Why would they run down the road with ski masks?
Because they were outside and they heard it and they were like, what the fuck? And then they put the ski masks on and started running down there to try to help me. And I was like, just go, just go, just go.
So they always carry ski masks with them?
So I guess, I don't know. But I was like, there was a car that was passing right when it happened. Like, if you can find those people, I jumped out nothing on my face, nothing covering my face, jumped out and started running back.
That's after you shot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no gun found in there. All right. That is the last thing you're thinking about, is ditching a gun when your best friend's dying. They're not even, you threw it on the floorboard, it's nowhere in the vehicle. We're gonna track their phones from the time they leave over there to the time they get to the school to get medical attention. And they're just probably gonna trace out the line that they went to get to the school. We've got them there on 911 for 5 minutes. That's about the time it takes to get from there to the school if you're hauling ass. Yeah. It takes 8 minutes if you're following Google's laws and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, you take that gun back there, the other two have the ski masks on.
Mm-hmm.
So did Ashton say, give me the gun?
Yeah, Ashton was like, bro. Ashton said, give me the gun, because I still had it in my hand. I didn't drop it. I just didn't want to get Ashton in trouble. But Ashton said, give me the gun.
I'm gonna tell you what, dude, this is about you and your life. Because Ashton doesn't think he's gonna come in here and he thinks it's gonna be all hard. You guys aren't thug life, bro.
I don't want to do this shit.
I know you don't. So we're here. This is your opportunity. Get this out on the table. Because I guarantee you, Ashton's not going to come in here and drive a bus over you. There's going to be a steamroller and he's going to squash you like a pancake. You've got the opportunity to be there first and tell us for real legit what happened. So tell me, we're back at the vehicle.
And I had grabbed the gun from him.
From who?
From Adam in the front seat. Grabbed back from him. Shot, either shot or shot next to whatever. And then I went, got out the other side, and then.
You gotta draw me a picture, man.
So you got out the passenger side of the vehicle?
Yeah, I got out the passenger side of the vehicle because there were still kids standing on
This is
the
the way
driver's
I want to do this right here, because this is like, I would work so much better if we do this right here. We have this vehicle, we have this vehicle right here, right? And then here.
The detectives lay out several facts about the case, including that there are people who have identified Smith under his mask. They also give Smith the opportunity to tell his story first, and Smith is more than willing to let Riggs take the fall for everything. Once the detectives have played the two off each other, they may be able to confirm enough between the statements to work out what actually happened.
It's a stop sign, right? Is it stopped at the stop sign?
No, it's back further.
It's back further away from the stop
Yeah.
sign? Okay, so we'll put not to scale on this. So you think, how far away from the stop sign do you think you are?
It's like, it'd probably be like that far back. Like
That far back, but I mean, 20 feet, 30 feet, we're looking at about 10 feet right here.
10 feet right here.
From wall to wall,
And then
probably about 10, maybe
Probably
12.
like 20 feet, because he had pulled in and then spun around. And
So you're saying you're about 20 feet away from there.
So he
But
came
either way.
from the house, turned down, and then turned back around.
But this here, we're facing this way right now. So we got the driver right here, which is D, big D for Deontay. You said that Adam's right here.
Yeah.
Right? And this back seat's a bench seat. You said this right here's a console right here. And you are right here.
Yeah.
G-Man's right there. All right. So, and it's a crude drawing. Okay. But picture this is a door right here. There's a door right here. There's a door right here. And that's the hinge for that door right there. Okay. So, I guess, tell me what happens in here.
Alright, so we were going this way, and I seen the kids walking on this side.
This is the Spring Lake.
I seen these kids just walking down this side of the street.
This side of the street, were they coming this way or from behind?
They were coming this way. They were walking this way. It was a few of them over here and a few of them over here, I think. And we came, the car turned around, he pulled up, he stopped, and then all the kids started coming towards the car, and then one of them came up to the door, and it was him and then one white kid behind him and some other kid opened up the door, punched me in the face. I moved back like this. I seen that Adam had this gun in between him and his waistband, and I grabbed that, shot, and then I got out. And
Which side did you get out?
This side. I ran out on this side, looked back at him. They looked like they were gonna chase me with them, and they were like, "Oh, you got that, you got that, you got that." And then I started running back, and then gave the Ashton and Zach were running out in ski masks, in black masks, and what's going on? What's going on? I was like, Brett, they just tried to rob me or something. And then I handed them that gun. And then they had guns already in the house. They grabbed those and stuck them in their, and Ashton stuck them in the bag and ran in the back somewhere and hid it.
So when Zach's granddad saw Ashton run out of the house, said he was carrying some sort of bag or backpack, that was right after the shooting.
Yeah.
He had gathered his guns and run out.
Yeah,
So,
he had got all his guns and their weed that they were trying to sell and stuff.
You say that they're weed that they're trying to sell, but look, I'm not a narcotics investigation. You're not here for a narcotics investigation. If you sell some fucking weed, if you sell some Danic bars, I don't give a shit, man. You know, they're trying to rob you. What makes you think they're trying to rob you? Why do they think that you have money? They either think you have money or drugs.
They don't think I have money or drugs. See, these kids, they jumped Ashton when he first got out of jail at a park for no reason.
hey, listen,
This
and I don't
kid-
need to cut you off, okay? But Ashton told me that there's been this beef going on,
Yeah.
okay?
They-
This goes way back. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, they've not. I don't even know these kids really. I've seen him around and stuff. Adam, I know him the most probably out of all the kids that hang out with, and this black kid Trayvon.
Okay.
But
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
the other kids I don't really know, and I guess they don't like me just because I hang out with Ashton. And I heard people saying this kid Josh Carroll was saying this kid Blake Moore.
Smith's story about the other group of kids beating him and Riggs up for no reason isn't remotely believable. A random, unprovoked attack might happen once, but with this much history, it is impossible that the supposed attackers hadn't at least given some clue for their actions. If they ever did attack, Smith and Riggs know exactly why.
They're all talking about as soon as they see me, it's on site. They will beat the shit out of me. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even know you kids. Why? What is your problem? I have no clue what they want, and that's why I don't be walking around with Callahan and stuff. Because if I do, I know one of them's gonna see me and it's just gonna start trouble. Just like today, they came up and it just started trouble that could have been avoided.
Do you have any tattoos on your other hand?
This one? Yeah.
What does that say?
It said love.
No, what was that right there?
This? It said pitchfork.
Are you Folk Nation or something?
No.
Why you got a pitchfork?
This, I was in my program and this my roommate Dylan Meacham from Yulee.
Stitches.
Yeah. he was like, bro, let me give you that, let me give you that. I'm like, alright. So he gave me one, and that's what it did.
So you're saying that all these guys are like, well, when we see Gavin, we're gonna jump his ass over this beef or whatever that they've had for a long time. What's going on? How did it get started? What's
It all started because me and Ashton were selling weed a long time ago when I first moved to Callahan. And we had some money and we were walking down the side of the street and these people jumped out and tried to rob us. They didn't get anything, but Ashton beat up one of these kids, Blake Adams. He beat up him, and then we took off. And then they started talking crazy.
Blake Adams?
Yeah, Blake Adams. There's a kid Blake Adams and a kid Blake Morris. They both they're both a part of it. And then they're all like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill you, blah blah blah, we're gonna it's on site, blah blah blah. It's, you know, their Snapchat stories all the time. Oh yeah, pull up on niggas with their guns and stuff. Them shooting their guns, like trying to scare us and stuff. Okay, like I don't know what they want with me, and I ask them now all the time. I'm like, bro, I don't even know y'all. What do you want with me? Because Ashton's got beef with them because he was talking shit about some kid's little brother or some shit, and then that's pretty much it.
So, how do you know Cody Cummings?
Cody, I know from school.
So what you know about him going over there and shooting up over off the picket?
I really honestly don't know anything about it except for what he told me. He said some kid like stole weed from him and then he went and like shot at him.
Who was all over there with him on that night?
I have no idea because I was, what was that night? I can't remember exactly where I was that night, but I was close to them, and he was texting me, asking me if I would come, and I'm like, no, bro, I'm not coming with you. I'm not coming with you.
Is Ashton? Is that on your phone?
No, because it was
Oh,
on Snapchat.
Snap. Does Ashton hang with him at all?
We don't really hang out with him. I more know Cody just from school. Like he was in my second period. I talk to him every once in a while.
Hey, you mentioned earlier Josh Carroll. Is that the guy that got arrested for shooting?
Josh Carroll.
I thought you said you knew a Josh Carroll.
Yeah, no, I know Josh Mers.
Okay.
This kid Josh Carroll was talking, like, I guess while I was in jail, talking like about how he's gonna kill me and he's gonna beat me up and all this stuff. I don't even know him. I know his brother Will.
Okay. So you're saying basically that these guys disliked you because of Ashton?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like it's just about everyone in Callahan, like my cousin Destiny, all of her friends, all of them will tell you, she's always telling me, hey, she'll call me up and be like, hey, so I just heard this kid was talking crap about you, saying he's gonna
That's
steal your
Destiny's
house.
last name.
Destiny, Spiewak.
S-P-I-E.
It is interesting that Smith's cousin can tell him that people are talking about him and threatening him, but she can't tell him why. It is a minor flaw in his story, but with enough tiny holes, the entire narrative collapses.
Right there, it's like, I don't know if he's bruised or not.
Well, we're gonna have our photographer.
There was like blood in my nose, and then once he did that, I started, like, he hit me on like that, kind of moved to the side a little bit.
Okay, so now you're right-handed.
Yes.
Okay. And so explain to me what Adam is doing. I mean, is he Because you indicate all of a sudden you can see this gun. Does Adam move, or is he, you just look over the...
I wasn't really paying attention to Adam, I was more paying attention to him. And then when I had looked back, Adam had the gun out like this.
And let me make sure, because we're talking truth now, right? Truth.
Yes, sir.
That gun was in the car, or did you bring it down
The
here?
gun was in the car. I didn't bring the gun. I haven't carried a gun since my last drive.
Okay, that was when you and you guys got arrested walking down Lone Turn,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Okay, so I get that. So you and Ashton got arrested before someone you're on probation for, or is it different? Okay. So, and so I want to get this straight. He hits you one time,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm trying to break it down to keep it in sense. All right, you kind of move over, you see the gun. You reach over. Adam doesn't try to stop you from getting the gun. You're shaking your head. You mean no?
No, he didn't. He was
Grab
sitting
it. So what's this guy doing?
there.
Just standing there?
Or the black guy?
Yeah, the
he
black
was opening up the door trying to get like in the car, and then I super quick grabbed it, and then when I started to come back,
Right.
he kind of backed up a little, and then there was like two other kids like right next to him, and all I did was hold it like this and pull the trigger.
Okay. So he backed up at the point in time he saw you with the gun.
I don't think he saw the gun, but
Okay.
he started to back up.
Okay.
I think to let the other people come in, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. But he hits you once, and then for whatever reason, he's backing up. Okay. And you just pulled the trigger? All right, so you're sitting in the car. And you pull that trigger. Did he was he standing face to face with you, or what was
Yeah.
it? Just like standing like you and me, like this?
He was face to face with me when I pulled it, and he said, "Ah, shit," and then
Did you know where you shot him?
no, I wasn't paying attention. As soon as I did that, I got up and ran out this side of the passenger side and started running, and then I seen Ashton and Zach running down the road with masks on, and I guess they were gonna come like help or something. I don't know what they were gonna do. And I was like, no, bro, go back to the house, go back to the house.
Right.
Went back.
When did you give him the gun?
Give Ashton the gun.
The gun.
We went inside, and then Ashton was like, Ashton was like, bro, what happened? What happened? He was like, bro, I shot one of them, and then I was like, here, bro, look. And then Ashton was like, dude, give me that, and he grabbed it and stuck it in the bag. And then I had like another silver one. He stuck that in the bag,
Okay.
and then
So he stuck the gun that you gave him in another silver colored gun in the bag. Is it a bag or a backpack?
I don't really know.
Okay.
I was just standing there, and
What color was it?
black.
Okay. And had you ever seen it before? That bag?
The bag, no. It might have been one of the black bags that Zach had like sitting just in his room.
Okay.
It was like 4 backpacks that just sit in his room.
Okay. So then, did you ever tell, like, Jeanette or Chris what had happened?
Yeah, I told Jeanette.
Okay, what'd you tell them?
I was like, right, Jeanette, someone just tried to rob me, and I shot them.
But they didn't really try to rob you. You're telling
They
me.
didn't really try to rob. They tried to jump me.
Smith is quick to give details about other people, but when attention shifts to his phone, he clams up quickly. The more hesitant he is to give the detectives permission to go through his texts and apps, the more suspicious he looks.
What had happened?
Yeah, I told Jeanette.
Okay, what'd you tell them?
I was like, right, Jeanette, someone just tried to rob me, and I shot them.
But they didn't really try to rob you. You're telling
They
me.
didn't, yeah, they didn't really try to rob, they tried to jump me.
Okay.
And I was
But you told her that they tried to rob you?
yeah.
Okay.
They tried to rob, like basically rob and jump me.
Okay.
And then she was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I was like, I just need to get home. I want to talk to my dad. I want to like solve this, figure this stuff out. And then she was like, okay, come on, get in the car. And then Zach and his grandpa started fighting and stuff. And I was like, bro, Zach, chill, stop. Zach, chill, stop. And then, Jeanette just started calling the police, and I just stood there next to Jeanette while she called the police.
Alright. Okay. Now, why did Ashton flip out when she called the police?
I really don't know.
Okay. Because he says he was like, oh, she's calling the police, time to go.
Yeah, he was like, Ashton was like, oh no, bro, she's calling the police, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hey, listen.
Let's go.
How about, this is Detective Thirst, and he's gonna do those things that we talked about.
Alright.
You gonna photograph him too, or you gonna wait?
I'll go with you all down and do photographs.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do the DNA.
Just need to open your mouth.
Drink, man. Do you want another sandwich or anything? You good?
Am I gonna be able to go home?
It's gonna be up to Detective Murdoch, okay? Here's how it works. He and I are gonna talk here in a minute. And then he'll make that decision. It's really his case, okay? I'm just assisting him on it. But, what else can you tell me about this beef that was going on?
It was just some stupid shit. Honestly, I don't
Your
understand.
time got mixed up in this stuff.
I haven't known any of these kids that just moved to Callahan. I got to
How long you been here? In Callahan?
Since June 11th.
June 11th,
Yeah.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, I
How did you meet Ashton?
met him through, this girl Destiny at school, not my cousin, but a different Destiny at school. She
Okay.
introduced me to him.
And I'm just curious, you moved to Callahan in June. I know Dylan Meacham. So how'd you wind up in a program, or how'd you meet Dylan?
My program,
What were you in the program for?
Petty Theft.
Okay.
And Nick, I know Dylan Meacham, Nick Lombardi, Zane Duquette.
With what?
Nick Lombardi
He was in that program too?
and Zane Duquette.
Okay, yeah, well, Dylan and Nick.
Nick is good now. He works every day, does everything he's supposed to do. Doesn't get in trouble, but Dylan, I hung out with him once and he was out there doing stupid shit, so I said, no, I'm not gonna hang out with you.
Right. Yeah, well, listen. Remember what I told you, you lay down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas, okay? And, Ashton says he's never heard that saying, okay? I'm just telling you.
I'm just trying to go home and not talk to him.
Hey, did your dad ever come over? You said you called your dad.
And he said he was on the way, and then I asked somebody else, and they said that there's detectives already talking to him about something somewhere else, so.
So he never made it up to the house.
I want to go home and then not fucking talk to them again.
So after you knew that Miss Super had called the law, you just sat and waited?
Neither Smith nor Riggs are able to give a good explanation for the bags. Each excuse is meant to distance themselves from the evidence, which isn't going to do them any good if the police are able to match their DNA with the inside of the bag.
Hey, listen, time out. This is Detective Thirst, and he's going to do those things that we talked about.
Alright.
You going to photograph him too, or are you going to wait?
I'll go with you all down and do photographs.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do the DNA.
Just to open your mouth.
Great, man. Do you want another sandwich or anything? You good?
Am I gonna be able to go home?
It's gonna be up to Detective Murdoch, okay? Here's how it works. You and I are gonna talk here in a minute. And then he'll make that decision. It's really his case, okay? I'm just assisting him on it. But, you know. What else can you tell me about this beef that was going on?
It was just some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't
Your time
understand.
got mixed up in this stuff.
I haven't known any of these kids that just moved to Callahan. I got put
How long you been here? In Callahan?
Since June 11th.
June 11th,
Yeah.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like,
How did you meet Ashton?
I met him through this girl Destiny at school, not my cousin, but a different Destiny at school. She introduced me to him.
And I'm just curious, you moved to Callahan in June. I know Dylan Meacham. So how'd you wind up in a program, or how'd you meet Dylan?
My program,
What were you in the program for?
Petty Theft.
Okay.
And Nick, I know Dylan Meacham, Nick Lombardi, Zane Duquette.
And what?
Nick Lombardi
He was in that program too?
and Zane Duquette.
Okay, yeah, well, you know, Dylan and Nick.
Nick is good now. He works every day and does everything he's supposed to do. Doesn't get in trouble, but Dylan, I hung out with him once and he was out there doing stupid shit, so I said, no, I'm not gonna hang out with you.
Right. Yeah, well, listen. Remember what I told you, you lay down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas, okay? And, Ashton says he's never heard that saying, okay? I'm just telling you.
I'm just trying to go home and not talk to him.
Hey, did your dad ever come over? You said you called your dad.
He said he was on the way, and then I asked somebody else, and they said that there's detectives already talking to him about something somewhere else, so.
So he never made it up to the house.
I want to go home and then not fucking talk to them again.
So after you knew that Miss Super had called the law, you just sat and waited.
Smith is still trying to sell himself as a victim of circumstance, but it falls flat. Not only has his father warned him about the people he associates with, but Smith has known them long enough to know what they are involved in and the kind of situation he is likely to be in if he is with them.
I wasn't trying to run or anything. I was just waiting because I knew if I ran, that's just gonna make shit worse.
Yeah, it does make things worse.
I didn't really, in my eyes, I really didn't do much wrong.
Good. Let's back up. You shot a guy. That was wrong.
I know.
You can't just shoot.
I know.
That's wrong, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because that's one of the important things is that you show remorse, you know? If you go around saying, oh, I didn't do anything wrong, then I worry it might happen again, you know?
I feel like it was more self-defense. I never wanted to freaking hurt anybody.
Yeah, well, I get it. And, you know, that's what some of the things that we're going to talk about. Let me find out see what we can about the plan. Now, they're going to take some photos of you in a minute, okay? So let me talk about that.
I got some good news and I got some bad news, whichever way you want to look at it.
The detective tells Smith the last thing he wants to hear in 3, 2, 1.
We found the bag.
The bag has been
We
discovered.
found a duffel bag out in the woods. So, there's a process there. Detective Anno is actually going to drive all the way over there, start documenting it and all that other stuff, but what are we going to find in that bag?
Gun?
Just one gun?
No, two.
Two?
Yeah.
What's the caliber?
Ashton had, I don't know which one of them is, but Ashton had a freaking silver.
He's telling me that at the point in time that he came back to the house, and you tell me if I'm getting this wrong, you still had the gun, and Ashton took your gun, or the gun that you had, and had a silver gun that he had, and he put it in the bag, and then there was some other stuff too?
Yeah, he said they had like a jar of weed, and they threw that in the bag too, and then, I think those dab carts, they threw those in the bag too.
So like the dank cartridges or whatever?
Yeah, those things, they put all that in the bag, and then I think they took like bullets and put them in the bag or something, and then Ashton started running out the house, and they were all running around, and like Zach was like, oh, let's just steal Jeanette's car and leave. I'm like, no bro, I'm not doing that. And I was just standing there next to Jeanette while she called the police.
Hey, let me ask this, and I don't mean to interrupt Detective Murdoch, but what about Zach? Does Zach have a gun? I don't think he just wear a ski mask and run down there without.
No, I think Zach had a knife. There's like a
You
knife.
don't take a knife to a gun shop.
There's like a knife with brass knuckle things on them.
I think I saw some brass knuckles over there at the house.
So back to that whole DNA thing and that magical shit called science. When it comes down to it, man, I want you to just be straight with me.
Mm-hmm.
That gun was not with Adam. Because DNA is going to rule that out. I want you to save me some time and tell me where the gun really came from.
I don't have a gun. I've played with them before. Ashton's silver one, I've played with that before. That's it.
Ashton wants you to hold one. Well, like I said, he's gonna roll on you every chance he gets, so tell me the truth. Ashton let you hold one, or what's up? Because you went down there with a gun.
I didn't have a gun when I went down there.
There's no way. four of the biggest black dudes you ever seen in your life. You pass them in that vehicle. You turn around, stop at a stop sign. And they start running up to the vehicle. One opens the door. As you scoot it over from the center to the left side, get punched in the face. See a gun. Pick it up. Pull the trigger.
I was sitting there.
I mean, I seen John Wick 3 too, man. Come on now.
I was sitting there.
That's some fucking
He
Hollywood
hit me
shit.
in the face. I turned. The gun was right there. I grabbed that like that, went like this, and boom, I shot.
Where was the gun? It wasn't up there in the seat, man. Just be straight with me, dude. I mean, it's okay.
I'm trying.
You're trying, but you think it's going to get you in more trouble if you had the gun on your person than if you found it. It doesn't matter.
Smith wilts under the detective's scorn, but still contradicts them when they confront him with the fact that he has told them two different versions of his story.
I went to go do it, sell it to them, and then that's when they all came out and tried to jump me and rob me. And then I pulled out that little gun that Ashton and gave me. He was like, "Here, bro, take this just in case anything happened." I was like, "All right, fine." So I shot him and then ran back and gave it to Ashton. I was like, "Bro, I'm done with this, I'm done with this." And they were all freaking out, trying to leave and stuff. And I stood there with Jeanette while she was calling the police.
So, the way you said this happened before, were you still behind Deontay?
Yeah.
Or were you sitting in the center or whatever?
I was sitting in the center, and then I was like, I was right here, and then I had kind of leaned over into the center to hand Adam the bag of weed. And I handed it to him, and then he was just like, he still had it in him. I was like, "You got the money?" And then he was like, yeah, hang on. And then that's when they pulled over, and then all the kids came up.
Okay, so you had the gun in your waistband like you showed us the second time, right? Underneath that jacket?
No, it was like right in my pocket.
Which gun was it?
It was a black gun. I don't know what kind. It just said MP on it.
It said MP on it?
Kind of like a Smith & Wesson MP shield or something like that?
I don't know guns like that. I just know it said MP on it. That was my first time ever really seeing that gun. He's always had that big silver one.
So Ashton sent you out there to do a drug deal.
Pretty much.
So are there any text communications between you guys, Adam and you?
Me and I don't know.
So how do they know to come over there and get dope? Who are they communicating with?
It was me, but it was over Snapchat. And all the messages delete. Delete all the messages.
But most of those messages would have been between Ashton and them, wouldn't they?
No, because he was talking to me because Adam already doesn't like Ashton. But then Adam was looking for something, so I was like, "Gavin, you do it," because he doesn't like me.
So who did he contact to get it then?
He posted on his story who got treated, and then Ash was like, "Bro, get up and slide up and say you got something to sell to him. He doesn't like me, but I don't think he really don't like you like that." Like, okay, so I did it.
So where did you guys get the stuff from? Where do they normally get it from?
Ashton gets the weed from some dude called Ben Frank. That's just his name on Snapchat. In Jacksonville. That's pretty much where he had, and this other kid, Levi Alley.
So this was all a drug deal going back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess tell me the story from that point of view then. From the drug deal. I guess because the reason why I say it is because we got the fabricated story the first time with because he picks you up in the driveway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw that on the Ring doorbell camera.
Yeah.
Picks you up in the driveway. You guys take a ride out of there, right? Back out. Go back up towards Deer Run. Then you drive back down Deer Run, right? Well, turn around after you saw those guys. Tell me.
Like, I was sitting there, and then...
I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything. I want you to tell me the truth.
Yeah, I was sitting there, and then the dude came in the back seat, and the dude came up and opened up the door, and hit me in the face. I was like, oh, what the fuck? And then the gun, it fell out of my pocket, and it was on the seat. And I just picked it up and shot him at him. I don't know if it hit him, but...
The detectives keep pressing and imply that they think that Riggs is guilty and that Smith might be covering for him. Smith jumps on this narrative and instantly says that he got the gun from Riggs. Smith proves here that there really is no honor among thieves.
I shot and then started running back, and then as I was running back, Ashton and Zach were running down the road. I was like, just go back to the house, just go back to the house.
It's not that hard to tell the truth.
It's not the fucking truth.
Huh?
It's not the fucking truth.
Listen.
You just don't remember whatever the fuck I would say. I'm not getting that close to me, so I'm gonna tell him what he wants me to hear.
No, I don't do
And
that.
I'm gonna get fucked for it, and I'm gonna go to fucking jail for it.
What's Destiny's deal?
What do you mean?
Your cousin.
What about him?
Well, she was calling.
Mm-hmm.
She was calling dispatch saying that you're telling me she just doesn't like Ashton.
Yeah.
So, does she not like Ashton so much that she would call, and be straight with me about this much, is she calling, lie to the police and try to blame Ashton for all this?
No, she say what it is.
Okay, because she was calling dispatch, saying that all kinds of stuff, and I'm just trying to figure out why she would do that.
What do you mean?
Well, she's trying to blame Ashton for all this.
I mean, that's kind of...
You said she didn't like him.
Yeah, she just doesn't like me hanging around because she thinks he's a bad influence on me.
Did she have some issue with him, beef, or anything like that? She just didn't like you hanging around with him because she felt he wasn't a good influence on her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did that? I mean, Zach's got a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Do his grandparents not understand that? What about Scott is what? Uncle?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really see him that much. He just stays in his room.
Yeah, he keeps to himself pretty much. I mean, I've been out to that residence a couple of times over the years, right? It's kind of like, you haven't even been here a year, man. And you're running with these people, and you're putting a program, you're hanging out with the guys, Dylan Meacham. Where'd you come from?
Brevard County.
Like Cocoa Beach, Patrick Beach Air Force Base, where Satellite Beach?
Melbourne Beach.
Melbourne. Okay. I used to live on Merritt Island. My dad was in the military. He was stationed there at Patrick Air Force Base. Do you surf? You any good?
Yeah.
What kind of board you on? What kind of board?
What's the board? I got a bat.
$430.37.
Smith admits that the whole thing was a drug deal, but still tries to minimize his part, which is what anyone in his position would do. The detectives have only a minimal interest in the drugs. That isn't their department, and all that matters to them is how their presence is connected to the shooting.
I shot and then started running back, and then as I was running back, Ashton and Zach were running down the road. I was like, just go back to the house, just go back to the house.
Maybe one of this just.
So it's not that hard to tell the truth.
It's not the truth.
Huh?
That's not the fucking truth.
Hey, listen.
I'm just gonna remember whatever the fuck I want to say. And I'm not getting out of me, so I'm gonna tell him what he wants me here.
No.
And I'm gonna get fucked for it, and I'm gonna go to fucking jail for it.
What's Destiny's deal?
What do you mean?
Your cousin.
What about it?
Well, she was calling.
Mm-hmm.
She was calling dispatch saying that you're telling me she just doesn't like Ashton.
Yeah.
So does she not like Ashton so much that she would call and be straight with me about this much? Would she call and lie to the police and try to blame Ashton for all this?
No, she say what it is.
Okay, because she was calling dispatch saying that all kinds of stuff, and I'm just trying to figure out why she would do that.
What do you mean?
Well, she's trying to blame Ashton for all this.
I mean, that's kind of.
You said she didn't like him.
Yeah, she just doesn't like me hanging around because she thinks he's a bad influence on me.
Did she have some issue with him, beef or anything like that? She just didn't like
Me
you
being-
hanging around with him because she felt he wasn't a good influence on her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did that? I mean, Zach's got a lot of issues. And do his grandparents not understand that? What about Scott is what, his uncle?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really see him that much. He just stays in his room.
Yeah, he keeps to himself pretty much. I mean, I've been out to that residence a couple of times over the years, right? It's kind of like, you haven't even been here a year, man, and you're running with these people, and you're put in a program, you're hanging out with the guys, doing Meacham. Where'd you come from?
Brevard County.
Like Cocoa Beach, Patrick Beach Air Force Base, where Satellite Beach?
Melbourne Beach.
Melbourne. Okay. I used to live on Merritt Island. My dad was in the military. He was stationed there at Patrick Air Force Base. Do you surf? You any good?
Yeah.
What kind of board you on? What kind of board?
What's the kind of board? I got a bat.
$430.37.
The detective uses a mix of guilt and attempts of forming a connection with Smith in an attempt to get him to fully confess. These methods are usually used closer to the beginning of an interrogation, but it may have been decided as the best course since Smith had finally started to weaken.
Are you sure Zach and Ashton's not out there with you?
What?
Are you sure Zach and Ashton's not out there with you?
They were out there and then they like ran down the road with masks on when I was running back towards the house.
Well, it can be a little bit hazy.
It's actually hazy out there today. When we first rolled out there, there was smoke, haze out there.
Is that you talking?
No, because after I had shot him, it was all like, oh, you got it, bro, just chill. And then I started running.
You stuck around for about 30 seconds after he shot. So what's up? What's going on right there?
I had dropped my wallet and then floorboard, and then the weed that he had in his hand, he had dropped too, and I picked both that up off the floorboard.
Did he give you money or anything?
Yeah, he gave me like $2.
Is that what it normally goes for per gram?
No, they were supposed to be giving me more, but they went to go, like they were trying to hand it to me, and then they went to pull it away, and then they started coming out the door, and then he had dropped the money, and then I picked up my wallet, and then I grabbed $2, like that was just sitting there on the floor and ran.
Where's your wallet?
My wallet is, I guess, in my backpack.
It's in your backpack. Nobody patted him down when he went in the back of the patrol vehicle side. Put all that stuff, the phone, and stuff in the backpack.
Keon Blake, or Keyshawn Blake.
Sometimes not speaking at all can get the best results, and the detective adds another twist by playing the video of the shooting where Smith can hear, but not see what is happening. Smith is uncomfortable as he listens, covering his face and shifting in his seat. While he can't see the screen, he knows what happened by the sound, and is trying to determine which parts the detectives might be seeing, or if there's any chance that a direct line of sight was blocked from the camera.
See, what I'm asking about, the reason I wrote the name down is because that call came in on our dispatcher that some girl by the name Destiny Spiewak called and was saying that Ashton did all of this, all right? So she was just trying to help you out? Is that what's going on there?
No, she isn't.
Huh?
She's just trying to say because basically all Ashton's fault when this shit happened.
I got you. All right.
I wouldn't have been around him when none of this shit would happen.
So basically she was calling in to say that it's his fault, not so much that he did the shooting. Is that what?
Mm-hmm.
It's his fault because he got you involved in all this. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, no, the reason I ask is because I'm trying to be fair. I mean, if there's a witness out there that is saying that they know something about the case, I'm going to go track them down and talk to them. But on the other hand, if it's your cousin that's just trying to, help you out somehow, that's a little bit different. You see what I'm saying?
It don't matter. I'm about to go to jail anyway.
Well, yeah. We're kind of right back where when you and I first met, Well, just the first couple of things that you said to me is that you didn't want to go to jail,
I don't. I just want to go to school and fucking.
I did that. I did that.
Can't. About attempted murder charge. Certified, level 10. I'm fucked. It doesn't even fucking matter anymore.
what's Zach doing when all this is going on? You're running back, he's got a ski mask going. You sure he didn't have a gun too?
I don't know.
And what was he doing?
Not my fault. I did everything.
He didn't get them in trouble. They got you in trouble.
Yeah, well, I'm the only one in trouble, so why does it matter?
You don't know that you're the only one in trouble.
I'm the one that's gonna go to jail and get charged for it. So,
Ashton, son.
Smith has become apathetic, deciding that his case is hopeless. A more experienced criminal would be doing what they could to ensure that they got their crime reduced to the lightest charge possible. But Smith hasn't had a chance to think this through.
The drug deal, you don't think he deserves something?
why should he have to go to jail when I'm already gone? I did it. My fault.
Sometimes more than one person can be in trouble for something, right?
So I'm not going home.
Doesn't look like it. Trying to be straight with you. You know, wish you would have been straight with me from the very beginning.
I was. But, yeah. He doesn't believe me, so I gotta tell him what he wants to hear.
You tell the truth.
I told you the truth. Told you the truth, but I told him what he wants to hear. If he doesn't hear what he wants to hear, then he's just gonna make it even.
Well, I'll tell you, you told him a lot more than you told me. Stuff that is true.
No.
Well, I mean, you told him about sticking around and dropping your wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the truth?
Yeah, I dropped my wallet on the floorboard.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's looking at the video there. Why don't you tell me that to begin with?
I didn't really remember it.
You'd honestly never seen that big guy before?
Who?
The guy that you shot.
No.
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen none of those people. I don't know them. I don't know why they want to fight me or jump me or anything. This dude's making me try to freaking tell him that it was my gun. I never even had a freaking gun.
Well, you had a gun. You got arrested not long ago with a gun.
I didn't. I didn't.
You didn't get arrested?
Ashton got arrested with a gun.
You didn't have a gun too? Walking down Lynn Turner?
Didn't have a gun.
That didn't teach you a lesson though about hanging around with Ashton?
It did. That's why I was over there to leave.
Hmm?
That's why I was over there to leave. My dad said there was cops already at the house, like before they even got called. Who called the cops?
Dad said there were cops at the house before they even called. What are you talking about? Before
like right after it happened, there was already cops in my house.
Okay. There were people naming you
Who?
right off the bat.
Oh, the kids that did it.
Yeah, they knew who you were.
So they called the cops on me after they tried to jump me.
Well, after their friend got shot. You
Yeah,
know.
well, they tried to jump me and threatened to shoot me.
Time out. I'm trying to answer your question, okay?
Yes, sir.
You asked a question about how the cops were at your house. I'm not trying to justify what they may or may not have said. I'm just trying to explain to you how it was that the cops were over at your house right away, right? Because their friend was shot, they had to call rescue for it, right? Rescue just doesn't show up for a gunshot wound victim without law enforcement being involved. Does that make sense? I mean, like, we get a call.
But the cops were at my house, like.
Because they knew your name, and so we're able to figure out what your address is, okay? It wasn't till all the brouhaha and hullabaloo at the Suber house, right? When you were trying to get them to take you someplace, okay? And then the scuffle broke out with Zach fighting it with his grandma over the purse to get the keys.
Although Smith has killed someone, his attitude is that of a teenager sulking in the principal's office. There's no remorse, only the self-centered thoughts of having to face the consequences of his actions.
And then, Chris Suber jumping in, and then Ashton jumping in, and Ashton getting bit by the dog, and all that kind of stuff, okay? That's when a second call came in. And that's why I showed up over there, right? Because we figured out, okay, these two cases must be related somehow, right? But the reason the cops came to your house first is that when the victim got shot, the rescue came to get him because they drove him into town, right? So rescue comes to treat him, and they're saying, my goodness, this guy's been shot. Who shot him? That's when your name comes up, right? So then our guys go over to your house. We didn't know that you were over at the Suber house. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're looking all over for you. It wasn't until that call came in from the Subers, and we get over there and say, well, wait a minute, this is the guy that we're looking for across town. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's why the other cops were over at your dad's place.
So I'm gonna go to jail for self-defense.
Depends on whose opinion, whether or not it's self-defense or not.
Who was it? I'm pretty sure it was.
This guy was unarmed.
Unarmed, but
He didn't have a weapon.
I didn't know that. And there were multiple of them.
Did you see a weapon?
No.
No, you didn't see a weapon. Also, when it's self-defense, usually people stick around and tell the truth, okay?
I had to stick around and tell the truth.
No, you didn't. You ran on.
Yeah, because I was trying to get back to the house. I'm not going to stand there in the middle of the road.
Well, listen,
I went back.
Gaven, listen, I'm not going to debate things with you because, like I said, it's not my call, okay? Not my call. That's Detective Murdoch's case. But I don't disagree with what he's saying, okay? I really don't. This guy didn't have a weapon.
So these guys are able to come up and try to jump me and hurt me and stuff.
Well,
And
I don't know what their intent was. I didn't question any of them, right? And the one that I would really like to talk to, I'm not able to because, he got shot.
I used the bathroom.
Yeah, let me check with them and make sure what they're doing. Take care of it.
The detective kills what little hope Smith might have had about pleading self-defense. Since the victim had no weapon, it will be difficult to show that he was enough of a threat to warrant Smith shooting him, much less with a gun he wasn't supposed to have in his possession. Gaven Smith pleaded guilty to third-degree murder in the death of Trent Fort. He was also charged with violation of probation and possession of a firearm by a delinquent minor. Smith was sentenced to 15 years in prison and 10 years of probation. He was also sentenced to the maximum of 15 years on the weapons charge to run concurrently with the murder sentence. Ashton Riggs was charged as an accessory and sentenced to 1 year in jail and a 5-year concurrent probation. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you want to support the channel even more, there's a Patreon link in the description below. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.